So this video is about the Panasonic GH5 and my first impressions of it. Now I'm going to start with a story because if I'm completely honest, this feels like a confession video. I've been interested in the Panasonic GH5 for months and I decided that I just didn't need it. Although I wanted it, I wanted to be able to film in 4K at 60 frames per second, or I wanted to use one of the amazingly cool features that it has built into the camera, I didn't really need it. I'm filming now on a Canon 70D, which is more than adequate for my needs, if I'm completely honest. But I just wanted, I wanted this camera really badly. But you know, I focused on some of the negatives about it, which predominantly seems to be around the autofocus. For a vlogger, like me, I guess, I can film now with the Canon 70D. I'm using face tracking and it does a really good job of keeping me in focus. So I just focus on the negatives as my way of not investing in this camera. Anyway, yesterday I was at a big shopping centre. I had an hour and a half to kill with my daughter, and I knew that one of the shops had the GH5 in stock, so I decided I would just go and have a look at it, try it, hold it, see what it was like. And when I got there, there was no GH5s on display, so I asked for some help, I asked for some assistance, and they said they just got some stock in for the GH5 and they were deciding whether or not they were going to actually put it on display. So they got these boxes, these brand new boxes of the GH5s out from underneath this locked cabinet, and they actually let me open this box and just try it literally straight out of the box. I even found a lens of another camera so that I could try it out, which was a big mistake, because basically as soon as I tried it, I immediately fell in love with it. It made my 70D feel like a bit of a toy, if I'm honest, because there was just so many settings on it, so many focal points. Everything felt better, if I'm completely honest. So I ended up buying it. I went for the version with the Leica 60mm lens. This particular version I didn't actually have in the store, so I had to pick it up today. So I picked it up about maybe an hour and a half ago. As soon as I came back home, put it all together, put the battery in, and it had maybe, I don't know, 10-15 minutes charge. So I quickly played with a few settings, and there was a Ferrari 458 parked randomly right outside my house. So I ran out without really, changing any of the settings really, from apart from like an initial test, and just getting some really quick test footage, which I'll show at the end of this video. So yeah, that was pretty random. But then the battery ran out. It's now charging, and I just thought I'd share some of my first impressions of it. Now, in terms of the focusing, using the camera, the focusing seemed really good. The autofocus is just very different to Canon. With Canon, it's almost like using a camcorder. You can use it as like kind of a point and shoot. So within my living room, I pointed the camera at my daughter and it focused on her face. I then went to point the camera at my fireplace, and it just didn't switch focus without me pressing the shutter button down. Whereas with the Canon, it just does that automatically. There's probably some settings on there that I can change. There's about 3 or 4 different autofocus settings, so I need to look into that and find out what's going to be the best thing for me. But using it, I didn't really seem to have any real problems. As a vlogging scenario, if I was carrying my camera around rather than being set up like this camera is now, I can see myself having some out of focus footage, but we'll see how that goes. Another big thing that I noticed is that the top of the camera doesn't have an LCD display telling you, what settings you have currently set up on your camera, like your ISO setting, for example, which I didn't realise is something I use a lot on the Canon, just as a quick reference to see what everything's set at. So that was interesting. And then finally, the other thing that I noticed is that when I put the battery into charge, just a green light just came up straight away, which on a Canon charger tells you that your battery's fully charged. Up until that point, you get an orange blinking light, and depending on how many blinks there are, you know roughly how charged the battery is. I'm guessing with this battery charger, you have a green light while it's charging, which then turns off, maybe. when it's fully charged. So I focused completely on the negatives there. There are 3 negative things that I could think of while using this camera, but really it seems like it's going to be a fantastic piece of kit. I can't wait to use it more. I'm just waiting for the battery to charge now so I can do some more with it. But yeah, it looks like a great camera. First impressions are very good, apart from those 3 kind of very nitpicky points that I've just picked up on there. So let's have a look at the test footage now that I did of this Ferrari that was parked outside the front of my house, and I'm sure in my next videos you're going to see an awful lot more of this GH5 footage. And having invested this amount of money in buying the kit, I put myself under a lot more pressure now to make some really good videos. So take a look at the test footage and let me know what you think.